Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Psych Investigator. So, guys, I've been quite slow today. It's that almost that time of the month, and so I was low today. But I've been researching, preparing for the for quite a while. I've been online observing the car crash that is this economic situation caused by Trasholini. But I want to look into it. I have more that I have selected to discuss, but let me just focus on this because I know it's really late already, but let me focus on this for now, okay? So let's do the protection first. I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs. As I breathe out, I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that I create the good and all the good, and so it is. Okay. So let's get to it. And by the way, I never say this. Thanks for watching, and if you like it, press the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe. It's funny, I'm laughing here. And I do personal readings also. You can find my website down below, rosainsights.com. Okay. All right. So I'm laughing, but what a bizarre world we're living in. But let's get started. Okay. One sec. Global stocks tumble as Donald Trump offers no respite from tariffs. Asian shares fall in wake of worst week for Wall Street equities since pandemic. So interesting. All right. So let's see. So guys, the footage of Trump uh golfing while all of this happens is really quite remarkable, even for him, right? But let's see what is going on. So all the financial websites, newspapers, and regular newspapers are saying this is already happening, right? That, for example, Japan's stock market is crashing, and other countries as well. And futures opened the day before, so they kind of are foretelling of what's come next, and it's crashing also here. It's very low, but let's see what's going on. By the way, I'll tell you that what last time I looked into it, I did think that Trump was going to double down on this and not say anything and not do anything. And I've observed, of course, his Silicon Valley people, the ones who really engineer this idea that um, that this is what they want, right? To kind of create this to crash the world and then buy cheap and call it a day. Okay, but let's see. Um, so what's going on here with what's going to happen tomorrow? The crash. Yeah, I see. Whoop whoop. And then Trump increasingly acting like, oh, there's nothing wrong. No, nothing wrong. Everything's fine. No, my voters know that this is for the best. And you know how he has said something like, oh, I only care. He tweeted over the weekend something to the effect of, um, the weak, the only people to lose are the weak ones, something like that. So, all right, so what's going on here? So that's why I see tumbling. And then what happens to Trump and his presidency? I really, guys, I don't see him changing. I see that he's going to pretend. I think he's doing his act. Part of it is his act. Part of it is that he truly, truly hates America and the world. Like he hates people. And in his mind, he justifies what he's doing by thinking that, oh, look at them. Those people are they hate me, or they he he tells himself, oh, I'm doing the right thing. These people don't matter anyway. Who cares, right? So I think as a sociopath and I don't know, psychopath, whatever you call it, I think he's actually happy to see this because to him that demonstrates total power. When he can do something that affects people in such a way, it's also satisfying to him because he feels very powerful when he does that. I know it's terrifying, but that's the mind of the psychopath. So, spirits, do you have messages for us here? Take a breather. Try to observe it with attachment because they will go down faster this way. And yes, we will go back up, but this will have to necessitate his removal. I see then that there's people coming out with scissors, pruning scissors, is that what it is? When you have to cut the trees, boop, 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 trying to cut him off. And okay. And there's like, so tell me what is going to happen. That's right. It may be a bit of a shock, but it will not last. And oh, what else? And I see boom, and it's trading halted. And then I see Trump not, he may have scheduled to do press events. He may cancel those. And by the way, um, I had seen also, just let me just get something, another piece of news one sec. So Netanyahu is already in the US. There was I saw footage of him having a meeting with, I think, the Lutnick Secretary of Commerce because he's looking to lower the tariffs with Israel because Trump placed, I think it's 17%, I don't remember exactly. But I was talking to somebody today, we discussed this event, and I had seen actually that this this is this is planned to happen, but this press release may not even happen because Trump is going to be so dazed that even Netanyahu is going to be looking at him like, what the, whoa, what? Oh, wow. That he's completely out of it. And I think part of it is that his brain really is fried. And part of it is that that's his real intention is to crash the economy. But the severity of it all, this is going to go down in history as one of those very serious moments in economic history, world history, American history. And the normal stance, right, is that a president would acknowledge this or would act to prevent the worst, but he's not doing that. And that is not, and I see that, I just feel like this thing may not even happen, or if it happens, it may not become a press conference because imagine like a tragedy like this happening and Trump just pretending like it has nothing to do with him when he caused it. So, okay, but it suggests that in some ways this accelerates his demise and but speeds it up. But I have to tell you that I also think that this is this is his goal, right? His goal, meaning that for the goal of his handlers also. And this is the final phase of his presidency in the sense that they're it's like it tells me they want to loot it or they want to crash the whole thing and they're stopping pretending and they're pushing it, okay? And oh, and I'm gonna add something that Karina sent to me overnight, a vision she had about Trump talking about martial law. And I think so I do think that that is a goal of his because he's very upset about what's happening, right? That the fact that how dare people challenge him, and the protests are upsetting him a whole lot. So, but let me address this question. Okay. It's interesting. I'm like jumping from topic to topic, but it's all related, right? So, so I just went ahead and added this title to the top. So this conversation about martial law and Trump wanting to take over as a true dictator. So is this going to happen? Will he do that? Will he try? I see he's calling someone. He's saying we're gonna do it now, but I just think he's not. You know what I see? It's so weird. I find it hard to believe that I'm seeing this, but that woman Susan Wiley, whatever her name is, she's no. They don't let it happen in the end, and the military. It's saying it's too late. He has to go. And I see, Mr. Trump, it's time for you to go. It's too late now. I don't think so. Is Trump going? No, because I don't think I don't think he has enough support in the law enforcement to execute that. I don't think he will be able to do that. Will he try? Yes, I believe he will, but I don't think he will be able to get away with it. By the time he tries this, it will be too late, and it's going to be him who's going to have to leave. Okay, so, all right, all right, so, buy trash. All right, so let's go to the next subject. So, related to all of this is the interesting response by this person named Kirill Dmitriev. And just to remind you that this person, I actually hadn't discussed this, so this is the moment to do so here. So I find it interesting here, one second, I find it interesting that here it is. This is the guy that visited Trump mid last week. And he was kind of like under, was on the down low. But before I discuss his visit here with the Trump White House, I want to show you how which is very good for us, right? This is how he reacted to the protests. This is him, his account. And he's saying, stop it, stop it. Look, no protesting, no kin protesting. I was here, we're taking over the government. You have to shut up. Because we paid for him, we paid for our regime, we have a right for government. Stop it. Take these people down. Accuse them of being paid by others. So there he is. So it's I always find it interesting when Russians they take such interest, right? And they can't they are in other words they're furious. So here that's history. When the hands of protests are this well organized, it begs the question: is the deep state applying its playbook from color revolutions abroad to attempt one at home? The Resistance Lab video draws some striking parallels. Ooh, so they not liking, and so immediately as I tell you this, guys, I get that they're rattled because they're doing very badly over there. Their economy is tanking. So see, they're direct using their asset to tank the American economy and the world economy, and they realize that they will not be able to take over the way they thought they would. Okay, that's immediately like I they are terrorized by this. Americans are not Russians. They're not going to take it the same way. So that's this part. And then now this is his reaction. Oh, he said they are very upset. Americans, they go on street. Somebody paying. They are paying. They know nobody is paying, but they have to make up these accusations, right? So So let's look at the article and the visit. So this is today, right? But I think it was early last week. Things happen, so many things happened that I didn't get a chance to look into him. But let's see. Let's look at the article here. I looking article. I looking article. I look article. Okay. So Kremlin envoy says he's in the US for talks with Trump administration. Kirill Dmitriev wrote on social media that his meetings were about restoring US-Russian dialogue, It was completely it was destroyed under Biden. It was destroyed. Hmm, okay. He said on the Telegram messaging app on Thursday that he had met with representatives of the administration of Trump and would do again on Thursday. Dmitriev's visit came despite sanctions imposed by the Biden administration that described him as a well-known Putin ally. It also came as President Trump excluded Russia from the roster of countries head up by the Steve tariffs unveiled on Wednesday. Oh, interesting. Look how interesting. Mr. Dmitriev did not specify whom he was meeting with, but this main known American counterpart in recent weeks has been Steve Witkoff, the close friend of Mr. Trump, who is the White House envoy for the Middle East and Russia. So, so let's see, how was it? Here it is. It's so, oh, remember he was there in talks with, remember he when there was that meeting in Saudi Arabia, I think it was, he was photographed there. And talks with Mr. Witkoff and other American officials in Saudi Arabia. Days later, Mr. Dmitriev claimed that U.S. companies had incurred $324 billion in losses by pulling out of Russia after Mr. Putin's invasion of Ukraine. He really fantasizes about how valuable the Russian economy is. So, anyway, so the question is, what what did he what did he do here on Wednesday and Thursday? What is it? No, okay, so no, he's like, he was acting all cocky. He knew he came to represent his. I came here to represent the real boss of Iran. I order him. I walk him on leash. I have leash for President Putin for him. I having a leash for him. Good leash. Good leash because I walk him like a dog. I walk him like dog. I was walking him like dog many times. He not behaving. He have learned behaving. He must learn behaving. So anyway, so no, but really, that's right. Money. He wants money. That's right. He's demanding. Wow, wow, wow. Oh, you know what? I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Remember how there was that random company nobody had heard of that was managing the reserves, the oil reserves, and that they were paid 1.4 billion just now. At least I don't know if they're already paid or scheduled to be paid. And I feel like this is Trump acquiescing to a demand by Russia to get, because they're so desperate for money. I want money now. He's telling them, you know what I'm here for? I'm here for the money he owed me for election. We gave him election. He paid back for us. So, okay. And of course, I say it goes with that question, though, not name Russia on uh, sanctions. Is that right? Or tariffs. He knows better. Trump knows better not to do it to them. So, and I see that he was acting like pushing Trump around, pushing them around, saying, they know who, everybody knows who's in charge, and it's the Russians. But he is also kind of afraid, even though he's acting in a very cocky manner, because he truly owns the dog Trump. I walk him on leash. I have leash for him, golden leash for him. He dog of Putin. President Putin sent me instructions to walk him like dog. Walk him like dog. So so but he just knows that it's all a huge bluff, and he does not trust that the path is clear for them to come in. And that's why they know that they're trying to weaken the military and law enforcement in general so they can more easily come in, for reals, for reals. And the America become colony of Russia. American colony like Uzbekistan, colony of Russia. So, okay, so again, I think they were given, I don't think he spoke directly to Trump, but they were given orders. And But again, I pick up on this knowledge that he has to act a certain way, but that he knows they are still in danger. They haven't conquered the country quite yet. This is a means towards it. And his visit was done as a way to, it's an enforcement, quote unquote, visit, right? But that's the situation here. So I wanted to share that with you. I find it interesting. Find it interesting. Okay. So now I was gonna leave this to tomorrow, but since we're talking about these people rough. Um, let's see. Okay, let's see. I'll change the subject. Moshkovich. Okay. So I saw this piece of news. I sent it to Corina. No, I sent it to Corina. She's like, no, I agree, Rose. I agree. So there's somebody in the PayPal mafia that is his name is David Sacks. Now I know a lot of times you're like, oh, Rosie, have you heard of the? I've heard. I've not only I have heard of them, but I became a whistleblower later to them. So I know them really quite well, very well. So you don't need to send me any more information. I already know that. So so uh so this person, David Sachs, is one of the main characters in the PayPal Mafia. Now, just if you don't already know, the PayPal Mafia is a group of a right-wing technology people that came together in the late 90s in the companies they went on to become what became known as PayPal. And and I hear sometimes I read comments that say, "Oh, they own PayPal." No, they don't own PayPal. PayPal was sold, I think, in 2001 or 2000 to, I think it was sold to eBay, and then it was separated. But anyway, so it's a different. It's they have no relationship to the PayPal of today, but because it was sold, it I don't remember if it went public or if it was sold to eBay. Long story, but the point is, they haven't been associated to PayPal in over 20 years, more than 20 years. So, but that's how they met. Okay, so that's how a lot of people uh originated. Okay, a lot of these people, that's how they where they come from. Anyway, so David Sachs is also, he was born in South Africa like Elon Musk. He's very close to Elon Musk. And as soon as Elon Musk bought Twitter, he went to quote unquote help him on Twitter. And he's also a VC. Now, I've been watching this guy for a long time and the companies he has invested in. And I've always thought that there's something very shady about what he does because a lot of those companies seem to be fraudulent. And he's involved in shady cryptocurrencies. And as a coincidence, remember how Trump wanted to create some sort of fund so they could have cryptocurrencies in it or something? All the cryptocurrencies that Trump advocated, were the ones backed by David Sachs. I don't have any faith in crypto at all, but the people that know crypto say that those currencies are largely completely fraudulent. They're not the mainstream ones. But anyway, so I tell you all of this to show. Let me tell you, this is I found it interesting, found it very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting, very interesting. Very interesting, very interesting, truly interesting. So, all right, so mm, that to make sure that it record. Okay, it is recording because sometimes. Okay, so exclusive. David Sachs, Craft Ventures lays off staff. Co-founder steps back. So while he, so that by the way, so David Sachs was then named the AI and crypto czar. That's his title, has a title even on the Trump administration. But at the same time, he also still runs his VC firm. So this was okay. So this is from April 5th. That was yesterday, Saturday, right? So this comes out saying that his VC firm suddenly, unexpectedly, laid off people. But this is where it gets interesting. Interesting. We're waiting here, huh? 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 I sad for him. I'm not sad, huh? For him. Sad. Okay, let's get here, the other part. Huh? Huh? Okay. So now, by the way, I don't know of, I haven't been able to find actual documents that connect to this, but a lot of I've heard. So this you, so you're gonna have to take this as a, I guess it's still at this point some sort of rumor. Um, but this is, several credible accounts have suggested this. So I have heard that is the reason, that the reason why David Sacks posts so much about Ukraine is because he's in deep financial, in very deep, he is in very deep financially with Vadim Moshkovich, a Russian billionaire oligarch whose close ties to Putin got him sanctioned by the United States. So, so that's from, this tweet is from March 13, 2024. So a year ago, more than a year ago. And so what happens this week? We're not there quite yet here, huh? Huh? Is that what happened? He was so his main backer was arrested by Putin this week. Oh, sad for him. Oh, oh. Sad for David. Sad for David. No, sad for him. Ah. No, really. I found it really fascinating because suddenly on this, so earlier this week, or even was it last week? So this guy is arrested. He's imagine he's an oligarch that was in good standing still with Putin until this happens. So when Putin does that to billionaires, he just takes their money. He said, "I needing money. You commit crimes. You committing a tax fraud. He committed tax fraud. I take money. No, you steal from government. So I take money from him. I need it for war. I need it. I take money here." So Putin had a bad day and decided to get David Sacks' friend here. Huh? Huh? So, ooh, but that now these people in Silicon Valley are learning that the heavy money, it's like it never occurred to them before that Putin does that to a lot of those billionaires, right? I giving your life, I taking, I give you money because you have money because of me. I give contract to you, but sometimes I take it back. I take it back. I need the money, and that's what he's done to this guy. And then the Americans, the American versions or whatever, are like, oh my God, what? Look at what? They think they're above, right? They think they're nothing, they're untouchable. But Putin reminded what the truth is here. Yeah? So no, let's go back here. So again, right? So what are the odds that a few days later, if the guy's as a main backer, so what could have happened also is that a lot of times the VCs have what they call the LPs, is the people that back the funds, right? So Putin could have basically said, you have to give back money here. If he had committed, let's say sometimes they commit billions of dollars or half a billion, whatever. You don't know. We don't know how much money because they raise money for these funds. They're quite big. And then it's possible that the deals he had with the oligarchs, let's say, for example, the oligarch gave half a billion to this guy David, and he said, and then when Putin called, asked for his money, the oligarch could have said, David, give him back money. And whether he had or not, it doesn't matter. He had to give back to you know how it is. He's dealing with criminals. So those people don't go by the legit business practices, right? They do shitty things. So, so I'm telling you all of this to find out. Oh, let's go back to him here. Let's go back to Moshkovich. And now, just to tell you, There's another person who's a sort of a younger. I don't think that he can be described as a payball mafia member because he's a little younger, but his name is John Lonsdale, and his firm is named 8VC. He's listed in a lot of the Twitter investments. And he hired, this is like, it's so messed up. He's he has the two children of Russian billionaires in his payroll. One of them is this guy's son. His name is Jack Eugenie, and they gave an American name. He went to American schools, and his name is Jack Moshkovich. Mm. So it's all very compromised, right? It's very clear. Actually, let's find the son. One second. Look how messed up it is. So today at 8VC, that's the firm, we celebrated an important milestone. Our colleague Jack Moshkovich is officially permanent resident of the United States. Congratulations, Jack. So that means this VC firm was the sponsor of the green card, pretty much, right? So he got a great way in, right? And not so this VC firm not only hired the son of Moshkovich, but also the son of Petr Avin, another very famous Russian oligarch, the co-founder of Alpha Bank. So they all work for this one guy. This guy, let's see. I don't know if that's him. Oh, look at him. He's a nice man. He's nice. Look, you never know, right? You never know where the Russians are all around you. Never know who they are. Fine, interesting. Oh, interesting. Fine, very good, very good. So, so again, sorry, somebody was, oh, I'm so sorry. Congrats, Jack. We're lucky to have you. Oh, yeah. Are you sure? Ooh, the future has a different idea, has a different message for you. Yeah. So this was July 2024. Again, let's go back here to him, Mr. Mashkovich. Okay, so these are all facts. Now, let's ask the real question. So there's this one I follow. She's kind of funny. She's a data analyst, and she's always harassing David Sacks. She's like, David, so she's tracking David. David Sacks has not tweeted in 4 days or so. She thinks that he has problemos because really this hasn't happened all this time. Only when this guy Moshkovich is arrested, then he is not saying anything. Plus there's tariffs. So then let's ask a question. Is the I'd say disappearance of David Sacks from social media related to Moshkovich's arrest by Putin? So yes, and I see he's sweating buckets. He's like, but I don't. He's like calling Elon. I don't have the money to pay him back. You know, they're asking for money. I don't. I have to deploy the cat. I told him, Mister, I have to deploy the capital. I can't just get this. And he's like sweating and everything. I see him. No, but I don't know. He's told me, and I told him, you don't understand. This is not how venture capital works in America. And I see that he hears back, like, but you did not take money from America. You take money from Russia. That's what happens when Russia. So do not go building. You go building. You see window? That's a very tall window. You make sure to jump out of it. Get the money that you need from because you need to pay back money here. You understanding how it works? You understanding, mister? I need money back from him. I needing money. So I'm not enjoying it. No, 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 really. I think they're asking, and again, this is if it were regular venture capital, they would be gentlemen about it and they would say, okay, we have deployed, we'll wait until we get the money back, right? Until you get the returns. Usually takes 10 years or so, honestly, depending on the fund, to return the money to the LPs, right? But here, in that case, you working on the Russian mob. Russian mob has different clock. You do it when we need it. When you need it, you'll do it. Because otherwise, we throw building. We throw you from building. Really, seriously. But this guy's in prison, right? So I don't think it's him directly. It's either his associates or Putin's people who has message, get money back for us here. And I see that Putin also sees it as a way to pressure both Elon Musk and David Sacks. So they're now under pressure because Russia must the money back. Oh, interesting, fine, interesting, oh, interesting, interesting. So, okay. Now, I also have a question about the sun because what about the son? I mean, the son, some of the sons, the children, let's say, of these oligarchs, sometimes they have no connect. It's just the parent. You could even argue, but what are the odds, right? It seems very shady. So my question is this: how do the children see what is happening now? The dad is in prison and could very well die, right? Because that's what happens to a lot of those people. The day that Putin wakes up and has a bad, changes his mind, anything can happen. So, what does his son Jack think? What is going on here? He's crying, he's grateful, he's safe in America, and it's like until when? Because he makes enough money and I feel like, to be honest, I do think he's genuinely happy to be here. But he knows that he got where he is because of a Russian meritocracy, a friend of people's money. Right? Obviously, he could very well be very competent, but it's that Lonsdale wanted the approval. He wanted to be seen as friendly to Russians, and that's right. But so the son is in a difficult position. Even if he were a good person, it's very possible that he could be a good person. But interesting, If I imagine that, I find it interesting. So I sent it to Karina to see what she also believes that it's connected. And so, well, I think this is good news in the sense that the bill's starting to arrive to these Silicon Valley people. And the FAFO, F around and find out stage there, the FO, find out. Interesting, how I find it. Interesting information. Interesting information. All right, so that's it for now. Yeah, there's more. I know, guys. There's always more, but I think I've covered most of it most that I wanted to cover today. Today. Oh, just the last thing I want to show you. Let's see here. Is an interview by Elon Musk. Now he's changed. He's a changed man. Huh? Interesting. Really? Really, Elon Felonia? Really, Felonia? Okay, let's see.
Can establish a very close.
Okay, he's against terrorists.
I hope that the United States and Europe can establish a very close partnership. We obviously are in an alliance already, but I'm hopeful that there can be a very close relationship with America and Europe. And I'm hopeful, for example, with the tariffs, that at the end of the day, I hope it is agreed that both Europe and the United States should move, ideally, in my view, to a zero tariff situation, effectively creating a free trade zone between Europe and North America. And that would be that's what I hope occurs.
Okay, so
I hope that
so that's very satisfying. So obviously, oh no, let me delete this. So obviously, Elon Felonia has taken a different position from Trump. I mean, it's not hard to understand why, because he manufacturing all these cars in different parts of the world. It depends on different parts, and all of it will make it very expensive to produce things. So, what is happening with him? He's like, I see that. It's interesting. He looks at his hands, and there's all blood on his hands, and he realizes the mess he's in, and that he's very close to losing his company. But didn't he know this? This sounds so strange. No, say no, Rosie. His ego is so big that he does not know anything. He thinks he could do anything. But now, and I said that he had the conversation with David Sacks, that they're in it. They're like, man, we're in it together. We gotta weather the storm, and we have to be strong. We're gonna have to change the tactics and change the position. in order to survive this. So, but then what happens? Oh, wow, wow. I got this. I made very good information. So we know that Elon Musk took a lot of loans in order to buy Twitter, and he took loans by guaranteeing his stock price. And I believe the stock price had to not go below 200. If he went below 200, then he got margin calls. In other words, he has to give the banks are going to own everything that he has, not everything, but a lot. So I see the stock price at 198. And another thing I get here is that okay, I always saw for years ago that it was very obvious to me that Russians were wash trading the Tesla stock. Because the Tesla stock is a famous meme stock. The fundamentals are very poor behind it. Somebody is pumping up the prices by but creating shady trading practices to pump it. And I've always believed it were the Russians, because how else would you justify this? And they're very good at mathematics and bot trading, right? So what I see is this, that truly the price is supported by Russians, and if they stop pumping it, it can collapse very quickly. And I do see that they make the stock go low, because if they stop supporting it, the stock can collapse. And I think it does, to the point of it goes below 200. And when that happens, then Elon Musk loses. I don't want to say that he loses everything. He loses a lot, a whole lot. So it's saying, Rose, yeah, it's likely to happen, if not tomorrow, then in the next few weeks. So he's going to be a changed person. Interesting. And that's when I see he, being the sociopath that he is also going to want to take Trump down, and it is not going to be pretty. So it's popcorn time. And so before I go, guys, Spirit is saying that it's going to be okay. It is a difficult, challenging situation right now, but it's temporary. That's what I got. And it is not going to be like 2008, because it will be it's artificial in a way, and it will be averted for the most part. And again, I see when Kamala comes back, we're going to have an economic, just like it happened after COVID, an economic recovery package. But it's unbelievable. The guy is really, but that's where we are for today. Okay. All right. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night. Bye.
Prayer and energy time. Let's use this time to send energy to people healing and going through complex health challenges. Their bodies need the energy we send them. Bo, recuperating from intestinal surgery at the Mount Sinai Hospital, battling cancer and winning. I spoke to her today, and I felt her mother telling me she will survive and thrive. Cecilia, her sister, visits her daily. Cecilia is herself also battling cancer, and she's also winning. Bella is also undergoing cancer treatment. Let's envision her pain free and 100% cancer free. Treatment. Let's send Bo, Cecilia, and Bella energy. Bo, Cecilia, and Bella are fully healed, full of energy, cancer free, and proud to tell this story of great health and recovery. Okay, so just going to be silent for a bit as I send them energy right now. And I hope you do the same. And also, you can think of others that you know, your loved ones, someone that you feel may be in need of energy, and focus on them. Okay? Okay, so let's start. I'll be silent here for a little bit. Thank you again. Let's create this circle of energy around them. And so it is.